I'm Patrick Bailey with IQlist.com. Today's Today's April 16th, 2018, and in this video I'm going to try to attempt to design and create a stand for a decibel meter that I recently purchased. Okay, recently I did a video where I was trying to silence my Prusa i3 Mark III printer because it actually does run in my bedroom pretty much 24/7, so I want to kind of reduce the noise as much as I can, although the i3 Mark III is pretty quiet as it is. There also is a silent setting, but I'm trying to avoid that because it actually turns off some of the features, and so I'm trying to keep it using the regular settings. So I got it quieter than what it was. Originally it was kind of loud because I put it on a stand. It was amplifying the noise, so I did some things to get it quieter. But I thought I'd come back around, and I've seen some other things to quiet it down, so I'm curious on what's going to quiet it down even more. And also, what's the worst case scenario when I actually had it as loud as it could possibly be. So I went and bought this decibel meter from Amazon. I looked around trying to find one that was okay, and this one was going for, a little over $50. But looks kind of nice. It's got a max setting, and it seems to work through some tests, so I wanted to get something that wasn't too cheap. And also, to me, a big deal, it takes AAA batteries. You give me AAA batteries, AA batteries. I've got rechargeable ones. I don't want a 9-volt. So I bought this because I want to do some better analysis on quieting the printer down. And I hope to do some videos on that soon. So what I wanted to do is I went around and found a stand, because I wanted to put it on a stand next to my printer so I could record it, so I could get the decibel reading right there. So I found this cool little stand. It's called Sticky Note by Tosh on Thingiverse, and I printed one of the versions out. It's pretty cool. Now, it works really well with I shouldn't say little, it works really well with iPhones, just kind of hooks on there. But with this decibel meter, it's a bit bigger, not quite going to work as well. So I can see it's going to shake off. So I need something a little more stable, a little bigger. So I thought I was going to take this idea and do a little redesign and see what I can come up with so I can have it there, so when I do recordings you can see it print and see the noise level as it goes. So with that, let me go show you my design and actually start designing it. Okay, here's something I just sketched up the other day. And so I kind of like this idea. I really like this little sticky note design, so I'm going to try to keep kind of with it. I'm going to make something a little bit wider, but also in this area here, you can kind of see, let me see in my drawing, the area between here and here, I kind of want to make it a little bit wider, but also try to make it so that this might wrap around and maybe put a little pressure on it to kind of hold it down a little bit, because I can think things might shake around. So my design's kind of, similar. I got it 28 millimeters, which is kind of the thickness here. And it might stick on the sides, but I'm just curious what I can do. Also, I downloaded some of the Prusa i3 Mark III 3D print parts because I wanted to see what the angle of the LCD screen was on there, because I kind of wanted to match that. Turns out it's at a 45-degree angle, so I want to print this at a 45-degree angle to kind of match it. I also kind of put some little knurled bumps there to kind of maybe rough the edge a little bit so it stays on back there. Don't know. So that's my basic design. So with that, let me get going on Fusion 360 and see how well I can do here. Okay, so here we are. Fusion 360. So let me get started here. So one thing, if you're new to Fusion 360 and you're 3D printing, one thing I have done is I've changed my orientation. So I have my Z-axis pointing up and my X-axis pointing out, as you can see over here. And if you haven't done that, one reason I do that, otherwise your prints will be 90 degrees off of probably what you want. And I think there might be a better way to adjust that, but I just found it easier just to change the orientation. So if you want to change that, you can go up here and go to Preferences. And in here, you should see the default modeling orientation is normally Y up, but we want Z up. And so you can change it to Z up, hit Apply or OK. And last time I did it, it didn't apply it immediately. I actually had to restart Fusion 360, so you may have to restart it. Let me go back here. Okay, so we got a blank document here. Now the first thing, I'm still newish to Fusion 360, so there's better people to watch, but I'll kind of try to do the best I can here. So if I right-click on here, I want to get a new component, and this is really going to only have one component, but it's a good idea to have good practice when you do it right. So I'll call this decibel mount. Call it decibel mount. And I'll click on here, and I'll turn the origin on so I can choose these planes. And then I will right-click on this plane and choose Create Sketch. So that kind of flips it there, and so now I can start drawing on the sketch. And so what I'm going to do here is I can push the S key, which will bring up this sketch toolbox. And what I want right now is this 2-point rectangle, which happens to be in my toolbox, but if I didn't see it there, I could actually do a search for rectangle. And there it is, 2-point rectangle. So either way, if it's there, or you can search for it. So I'll choose that. I'll click on that center there and start to stretch it out. And then here you can see the blue highlight here where I can change how tall I want it just by typing in. So I'll type in 10, hit tab, which goes to the other one. And I'll type in, start with 100. Hit 100, and then hit enter. So now I've got this box. And my idea is kind of to replicate, I don't have it here right now, but to replicate that little idea of the stand where the notes are sticking up. And so I'm figuring for the next 2 layers, the next 2 layers represent the notes flipping up. I'll just have them be about 3 millimeters in width. So I'll press the L key for line, and I'll just kind of click here and just make an arbitrary line. And hit escape, so I don't want to draw another line. Hit L again, and I'll do the same thing, make another line. And then hit escape. And now I want to make sure they're 3 millimeters apart from each other, so I can press the D button for dimension, and click the top right here of this guy, and then click on this guy, pull it out, hit enter, just click, and then press 3. Now that's 3 millimeters. Now hit dimension D again. Well, I'm still in dimension, I guess. Click there, come out, click, and hit 3, and enter. Perfect. Now the next thing I want to do is I know this thing is going to be roughly, I want it to be 80 millimeters and 30 millimeters up on a 45-degree angle. So I'll start drawing some guidelines. So I'll press L, and I'll kind of click just somewhere on this line, which will hook it onto that line. And then I'll hit tab and type in 45 for 45 degrees. And then hit this, hit tab again, and then type in 30. And then hit enter. And so there's a line I want for the bottom. And I'll hit L again, and then I'll click right there where they intersect. And I'll come up. And now for this one, I want it to be 80. Let me zoom out. Okay, 80, and then hit tab. And the nice thing here, I can go to the degrees, which I think it needs to be 135. Yeah, locked in. But if you don't know the degrees exactly, because I don't think in 135 degrees, I think in 45 degrees, I could go here and say, oh yeah, well that's 90, and I need 45 more than that. Well, you could actually do math in these. So I could type in 90 plus 45, hit enter, and it will actually calculate 135 degrees, which is pretty cool. Okay, so let me hit L and make another line, click on that, go 45 degrees, hit 80, 135 again, it's okay, enter, and then press L again, press on that, and connect the boxes up. So that's going to kind of represent my cross section of where I want this to be mounted. So now I'm going to probably change those into construction lines. So I can go over here, and here's this construction button here. I can click on that and then click on a line. Well, or vice versa. Let me hit shift, and maybe I can, or control. Oh, control. Control and select all the lines, and then hit construction. Boom. And so now they are construction lines. In fact, I can move that up there and up. I don't know what I'm going to do, but that works. Can I trying to move these dimension lines? Where are you, dimension line? There we go. Okay, so now I think this box should have some relationships to itself, so I can grab this line and move it. And since it's stuck on this line right here, I can kind of orient it, and so I'll kind of go, let me see, I'll put it right here, put it right about there. And I'll come here and press the D key for dimension, choose that, choose the bottom, come down, and I'll just type in 70. And then now we can see all those lines turn black, which means it's fully defined. I think that's the right word I'm using. And so now they're kind of locked in place according to those dimensions. There we go, there we go. There should be, there we go. Now it looks pretty. I can see my little dimension lines. And so now I want to use those as kind of guides to draw around. So I want to have this come up and be, 3 millimeters and come up here and curve back in, and then kind of put a little bump on the end, hoping that it can probably be a little stretchy. So maybe I can put this decibel meter in and kind of lock it in place, maybe, is my theory. So I will come in here and hit L key, and I'll start here. And I'll come up, and I think I wrote 15 millimeters there. So I hit 15 and lock it in place. It looks like I have construction chosen, so I'll have to choose that line, and there we go, make it a regular line. And hit L again, up, L. And I'll start here, go at a 45-degree angle, and make it 3 millimeters. Up 45, 3, there we go. Boom, boom. Now, over constrained, which I guess is okay. Then I'll come down here at, there we go. Well, I'll make this a little too long. There we go. Well, it's 90 degrees from that. That's what I want. Hit enter. Enter. So that's a little too long. That's okay. Hit escape. Because what I want to do now is hit the L key, select right here, and come all the way down, go further and hit here. Well, no, it's going to be there. Sorry, it's going to be there. Okay, there's that line. Okay, this is where I get a little confused. Let me say, I have to do a line here and come 45 and 3 millimeters. There we go. Hit enter, and then hit L. I know I'm not probably not doing this the best. And connect those up. And it's over constrained, that's fine. I'll hit L again, I'll start here. I'm just trying to make sure it's consistent 3 millimeters, which there might be a better way to do this, but this works for me for now. And then go down here and click. Perfect. And then I'll probably have to make another line from here to there, maybe? Oh, I know why it's not connecting. I didn't put a line over here. So I'll draw a line, connect those two. There we go. Cool. Okay, so next. So there's kind of that. I need to smooth it out, which I'll do in a second here. But now let me do my line going up, which I want to... Let's see, start, well, I'm going to move it. No, I want to start there. So I'll hit L, start there, go all the way to the top here, boom, and then come over here. Oh, wait, we're still in, no, yeah, come over here. No, there, 3 millimeters, enter, there, and then come back down to right there. Boom. Oh, I forgot to go up. No, that's right. That's my basic shape. Now I just need to put some circles on the nubs on the end. So I'll come down here and I'll press C for circle. And I'll make a little circle here and I'll make it, let's go for 6 millimeters for a first try. I did something bad here, didn't I? I have to go fix something here in a second. Okay, now I want that to be over here, so I'll do a couple of constraints. So I'll say coincidence, and I'll choose the center of the circle, and I'll choose this line right here. And so now if I hit escape, I can actually grab this circle, and it will stay on that line, which is really useful. But then I want to make it tangent to this line, so I can do another constraint, and I can choose, where's my tangent button? Oh. There we go, tangent, and I'll select that and that line. Boom, locked in. So now I'll do the same thing up here. Circle, 6, 6, do coincident constraint to there, and then tangent from there to there. Perfect. So that'll give me my little nubs. So I've done something dumb here. What have I done dumb? This is far too fat. What did I do wrong here? Okay, something, let me erase these lines. That's far, I did something, I mismeasured something. Let me just erase all this, something's wrong. Okay, so I got that, that's 3. If I draw this out, I'll just draw it extra long, but at a 45-degree angle. So that's right. And so if I draw, if I draw from here at a 45-degree angle, make it 3, right there. And if I draw from there all the way to the bottom, okay, looks more right. I just need to connect that up with that. So let me see. If I do coincident, that guy to that guy, no. Okay, can I make you longer? Let's make another line. So I'll press L, 45, there we go. Just another L. And I don't like that, so I'll do another L. And no, let me back out of that. Control Z. I mean, just Z. Control Z? Yeah, okay. So that is my basic shape. But now I need to round some of the corners, so I can use the fillet tool for that. So I'll press S, and I can search for fillet. And there it is right there. So I'll select that. And I want to round these edges, so I can click on that and that. And I'll say, let's say 5. I'll say 5. No, let's say 4. 4. Enter. And then we'll do it again, S, fillet. And if you happen to be using a tool a lot, you can actually, I've already done this, is you can click on a tool, hit that little up arrow curve key, and it will actually put it on your sketch toolbox, which I did with the fillet earlier. And so there it is right there. So I'll just click on fillet again, and select that, and that. And then that was 4, and it says it's 3, so 4 plus 3 is 7. I think that'll work. There we go. So there's an arc I want. Cool. And so let me come down here and do that down here too. So I'll do S, choose the fillet tool, that, and that, and choose, well, 8 seems okay for that. So I'll leave that at 8. But then when I did that, it wiped that whole line out. So let me do a line again, start it here, and have it go to there. So, okay, S, fillet, that guy, that guy, and that was 8, so do we do 8 plus 3? 11? Or do I do 8 minus 3? 8 minus 3. So there we go. So that looks good. And then we need to do this guy. So S again, choose the fillet tool. Way too big. So let's see what we want. How about go for 8? Then I want to do it on the inside here. So S, fillet tool again, that, and that. So probably 8 minus 3, maybe? Let's see, 8 minus 3, 5. No, it seems too small. Yeah, way too small. Must be 8 plus 3, so it'd be 11. There we go, 11. Okay, and of course that wiped out a line too, so we can press the L key, do that, and have that connect up to that. So there's our shape, basic shape, which is a little bit ugly now with all these numbers in here. Okay, so now I want to press pull that. So I can press the Q button, hot quick key, and I can select what I want to pull. So I'll select that, 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 and that. I think that's all I need. And then I'll click my home button and I'll pull it out. And in my case, I'm going to do 30 millimeters, I think. There we go. New body. Okay. Boom. I think that's the basic shape I need. I may have to work on what the distance between that and that are going to be. Or that may need to be lower. You know what? That might need... I don't know. I'll try this first. I mean, that 3 millimeter might not be thick enough. There might be a lot of things that aren't quite right. But that's a good start. Now, I also thought about doing some little knurling on this. Some kind of little... something here that's more a little grippy, maybe. So what I'm going to do is right-click on this plane and create a sketch. So I'll create a sketch on there. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make a little divot. So I will press S and I can search for an arc tool. And I'll get a 3-point arc. Click on that and I'll just kind of draw some, click right there somewhere. I'll do 2 millimeters and click, 2 millimeters, hit enter, select on that line again. And then for my third point, just kind of make it a little bit of a dip in there. There we go. And then I'll press Q for press pull again. Select that little area. Hit the home key so I can see it better. And what I want to do is to remove all that. And so I could enter -30 and that would work. But another thing I can do is I can say, rather than do distance, I can say to an object. And the object would be the other side. So I can actually come over here and move this around and select that side. And then hit OK. And the nice thing is if you do that, because of the, well, I'll show you in a second. Let me finish this part up and I'll show you why that's cool. Because down here you actually have a history of things that are being applied. And if I, rather than doing a distance, if I connected it to that other plane, if I change my thickness later on, it will still get applied correctly because it went to that other side. Okay, so next I want to replicate this, duplicate this. And there's a cool tool for that called something on a path. Let me see. Let me hit the S key and search for it. So path, pattern on path. There we go. So click pattern on path. And I'll select my object, which is that guy. And then I'll click on that to select a path, and I'll select this little path right here. And then I can pull it down, which is really cool. And I'll pull it down to right about there. And then that'll make 3, but let me try 40. Oh, too many. 30. That's about right. So I hit 30, it'll make 30 of those. And boom, I got some kind of texture. Which I did recently on another project, and it turned out okay. So I think that might be a good thing. We'll see. Now I also would like to do it right in this area too. So I'll right-click right there and create a sketch, and do the same thing down here. Oh, I got a little weird arc down here. That's a little annoying. I guess I have to go undo that. Maybe I'll put a little, I don't know. I'll point it into the world right now. Okay, let me press S, search for arc, 3-point arc, and I'll just select there, press enter 2, and then click there, and there. And now do Q and select that little spot, and let me see if I can see it. And same thing, I can actually choose to do the other side, so rather than distance, do an object. And let me see if I can get around to the other side. And I'll choose that side. Boom. Hit OK. Go back to home. Let's see. Choices. There we go. So I can come down here and I want to do the pattern on the path again. So click the S button, pattern on path. Select that object, and then select the path, which will be that guy. Pull it up again, and I'll do 15 maybe? That looks about right. And hit OK, and there we go. And maybe that might look ugly, but I don't know. I'll leave it there right now. And if I'm worried about it, I'll redesign it later. So there's our design. I'll see how it works out. Now, a cool thing just to show you, like, the way that there's this history down here. If you're new to Fusion 360, like I am, I'm still watching lots of Lars Christensen's videos. I can actually go back in my history where I first extruded this distance. I could right-click on that, edit feature. Instead of doing 30, if I print this out and it's not wide enough, I could do, let's say, 50. Hit OK, and see that other stuff got applied, which is really cool because I went to the other plane. Otherwise, it would only go a certain distance, and I'd have to edit it again. But I'm going to go for 30. So let me undo that. I think that's going to work, or at least I'll be close. I want as the last thing I can actually apply a color to it, which is not going to change the print, but it's kind of nice to look at. So I can right-click anywhere and go to Appearances and come down here. I think I'm already in plastics, but you can actually come down here and choose, I think I chose, oh, there we go. Plastic, opaque, and let me choose, I don't know, what looks interesting. I'll choose maybe green and dump it on there. And so now I am green. Oh, yeah. Close out of here. There we go. Hit OK. Okay, so there's my design. And
as a noun, design is usually defined as the act of working out the form of something, as by making a sketch or outline or plan, or, alternatively, an arrangement scheme. As a verb, design can mean...
Alexa, stop! So helpful sometimes, huh? Okay, so last thing is I want to make this into an STL file so I actually can print it out. So I'll come up here to Make, click on that, 3D Print. I'll unselect Meshmaker because I don't want to send it to Meshmaker. And select the whole thing, hit OK. And I will put this, put it on my desktop and call it decibel body holder. I don't know. Hit OK, and there we go. And then pull up proofs of control. Boom. And I was doing some other stuff earlier today. Let me delete that. And let me go. Where's my file? Okay, where are you? Desktop. And decibel holder. There we go. We'll drop that guy in there. And so there's our design. Oh, well, I actually intended to. I guess even though I did it this way, I want to print it 90 degrees. I didn't think about that. I should have done this on the other plane. Oh well. I can still, fix my problems here. So I rotate it on the x-axis 90 degrees. Okay, so if this works out, once I get a design that works out, before I would post to the Thingiverse, I would do it like this because this should print out really well. I may have some more tweaks on this because maybe this isn't thick enough. I don't know. Maybe it's not wide enough. I may have to go through some iterations here. Before I put it on Thingiverse, I would definitely have it so it lays flat. Okay, so let me generate this, and let's go print it out and see how well it does. Okay, so successful print. As I was printing, I was a little worried this 3mm would be a little too thin, but it's holding up pretty good. So let me see if I can get a good. There we go. See a little, a little rough surface there. So overall, I'm pretty happy. And for a first go, it actually, it fits pretty good. So I'm kind of excited about it. I mean, I could do a few tweaks to it, but overall, I think it's an exact match for what I wanted. So I guess I'm going to start using that when I start doing some sound analysis using this decibel meter. So maybe I'll tweak this a little bit and throw it up on Thingiverse somewhere. Anyway, that's a cool project and useful tool. Cool, that was a lot of fun. And I nearly forgot to film the numbers. So here's the numbers for this print. So this print took me 2 hours and 22 minutes to print out. It took 2 cents worth of electricity, and I'm basing that off 10 cents per kilowatt. And the weight of it is 0.03 kilograms, and at $20 per roll, and a roll is 1 kilogram, that comes out to 60 cents worth of material to print this. So the total cost to print this whole thing out was 62 cents. So not too bad to get this little thing. So I can, 62 cents, not bad. So anyway, that's the exciting numbers. So, and I think I'll probably take this and stick it on Thingiverse somewhere at some point. So if anyone's interested, just go look up my account and it should probably be there. And if not, yell at me and I'll go stick it up there because maybe I forgot. Anyway, fun. Hey, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, hey, give it a thumbs down. Also, if you like what we were doing here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button. And lastly, have a piece of info to share? Just post a comment.